Hi, Julie. Murtz Jaffer here. How are you?
Hi, Murtz. I'm good.
The first question is very obvious. What happened?
Oh my, they weren't. What happened was they weren't ready for all this beauty. They were just intimidated by me. But the house flipped last minute, and here we are. Julie is out of the house.
You know, you seem to hit it off with Josh right away. He confided in you that like Latoya had mentioned your name. How did your relationship disintegrate?
Yeah, so Josh and I got along really well. We were both from Vancouver and we're both from the queer community. And he definitely confided in me early in the game. But then he started to crack a little bit and his paranoia kind of got the best of him and he was kind of spiraling out of control. And we could really see it affect him a lot. And we could see that he was a very emotional player. So beyond that, I just couldn't really trust what he was saying. But when he came to me with like the Latoya thing, I'm like, he's just been throwing names all day long. So here's another name, and it's just a headache.
How did you feel about Latoya targeting you, and why do you think that she did?
I didn't feel good that Latoya was targeting me. Obviously, I don't want the target on my back. So, but I think the reason why she did that was because maybe because I was the weakest one in the group. I weigh 105 pounds. I'm just bone and skin. And she did mention that, you know, Josh had carried a bucket with like a couple splashes of the water, but I only got splashed once and I let go after that. And so for those reasons, she wanted to evict me.
We saw the formation of the Dolls Alliance, but at least one of them did not vote to keep you. Why didn't your alliance stay together?
My alliance did not stay together because I believe that at the end, they were going around and talking and it was just not the majority of the votes. And they didn't want to go against the house so early in the game. So I understood why they had to vote me out. And when I was sitting on the couch during eviction, Austin did look at me and she shed a tear and she whispered, "I love you." She mouthed it. And at that moment, I knew it was game over for me. So it was heartbreaking, but you know, I love them so much and I wouldn't want that on them.
This is the first eviction of the season. What are the main alliances that you saw forming in the house before you left?
So it was very clear that there was like an older person's alliance, you know, Tara, Tina, Kiefer, and Latoya. Those were like the oldest people in the house. So that was kind of like forming something. The boys seemed like they had something. So Josh was on the right path because after Josh had mentioned the Pretty Boys 2.0, they started to scramble and kind of like spread out. So that made me believe that there might be a boys thing. And yeah, just it is what it is.
Do you think that Kiefer drafted a strong team, like one that can actually handle the physical competitions?
Sorry, what was that?
I said, do you think that Kiefer drafted a strong team? Like when he was picking the teams, do you think that the teams were equal? And do you think Kiefer did a good job picking his team?
I believe that Kiefer did pick a good team because when we saw the other team, we saw like, you know, more women and we kind of underestimated them. We were more toned. Latoya was a pretty strong person and we had just strong players, but you know what? Just, it was a very hard challenge, you know, strength and grit played a really huge factor in it and how you held the ring. So, I mean, we did lose, so.
When Josh confided in you, I want to go back to that moment because that was obviously a key moment. When he confided in you that Latoya was throwing your name out, you immediately confronted Latoya and she didn't seem to want to answer. She kept saying, "I'm just going to go to the hot tub. I'm just going to go to the hot tub." How did you feel about her response and why did it come across that way?
So when I heard that Latoya was throwing my name under the bus, I went to Latoya, but it wasn't like a confronting kind of tone. I wasn't like, "What did you say about me? How dare you?" Like, it wasn't anything like that. I was good with Latoya. I had told her information that Josh was telling me earlier. So I went to her and I was like, "Oh my God, like Josh came up to me and he said this, that." It was literally so nice. So I was so taken back and I was so shocked that she like literally was like, "You know what? You're not going to ruin my moment right now. I'm going to go to the hot tub and we'll deal with this after," in a very like attitude-ish way. And I was like, I was so shocked. I was like, excuse me, I'm not coming for you. Like, why are you talking like that? And it was week 1. I didn't want to blow up my game and go crazy. But if it was like week 2 or week 3 and she had spoken to me like that, I would have flipped.
And then what happened when you did confront her?
She left to go to the hot tub and she like told the boys. And then she was like, and then later on that night, she sat me down and she was like, I'm a very logical person, Julie. This is what's best for my game. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Everybody in the group's name was mentioned, blah, blah, blah. But just the way she was talking to me is very condescending. And like, I'm not a little kid. You don't talk to me like this. Like, you're not the boss of the house and you don't know how to speak to people.
And we'll get to your story in just a second. I guess my final sort of point about the game is I just want to know sort of when the tide turned on you, you know, like from an outside perspective, I'm watching it. It seems like you're in with everybody. Like every time I saw Julie, she had like a good discussion with somebody, or you were sort of the sounding board for Josh, or you were talking to like Braden in the corner. How did the tide turn and why did the tide turn on you?
So the whole week, the target was on Josh. It was a house, you know, unanimous decision, and it was the consensus of the house that Josh was going to go. It was last minute, you know, the eviction day, live eviction day. I woke up, I didn't even know I was going home. Like I made sure I counted names and everyone said to me like, yeah, Josh. But last minute after rehearsal, Josh flipped the house. He went around while I was curling my hair and he was like telling people, hey, keep me next week and I will be a target. Get out, Julie. And I think Latoya just didn't like me. We just didn't vibe. We didn't have that energy. So it was kind of like, maybe that's a good idea.
Why did he turn on you? I thought you guys were tight.
So we weren't tight after he had told me about Latoya. Everyone distanced themselves from him because he was very unstable and he was just very wishy-washy, emotional player. So after that, I'm like, you know what? Like he got me in trouble with Latoya. Like, don't tell me stuff for me to get in trouble. So maybe he's a little mastermind in that way, but here I am.
Canada got to see your coming out story. How important was it for you to get this message across?
It was very important for my message to get across. And I'm so glad I shared it when I did, because the truth is I was in trouble and I didn't know if I was going home or not. And I want to at least share my story. So I just wanted to share with the house guests to educate them and to inspire them. You know, it's a weird world that we're living in right now. And I just want to improve the situation and in hopes to inspire other people around the world. I didn't see someone like me on TV when I was younger growing up. I didn't see someone like me at all. The only person that was trans was like on Jerry. That wasn't a good representation, right? So it's important for me.
And how did the pandemic influence this experience for you, if at all?
How did the pandemic influence me in this situation?
Yeah, did it impact you, or was it just like, you know, another regular season?
Oh no, it definitely did. The whole casting, it was much tougher, but it was really nice to be in a house with people, touching people, talking to people without a mask on. Like that was totally different. Being quarantined for so long, and it was really nice to interact with other people.
And last question is, who do you think is in the best position to win?
Ooh, I believe Braden. I think Braden is in the best position right now. He's very social, he's nice, he's strong, and I think can get him really far in the game.
Perfect. Julie, thank you so much. Hopefully we'll cross paths again soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Murtz.
Thank you so much.